Hi everybody, Jeff from JMKRIDE here. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Freeskates safety. Now right off the bat, I can't tell you that free skating is safe because obviously you're on some wheels, you're going to be moving at speeds, there are some inherent risks. But I put together a bunch of tips that I'm going to be sharing with you in this video that'll help you minimize risk all the way from the beginner stages of learning to free skate to more advanced skating around the cities and through obstacles. Everyone always looks at these and says that their ankles are gonna explode or something. I don't really understand that because the number one issue for beginners when they're learning to free skate comes from letting your skates come together. When your legs come together, that's when accidents happen. When your feet are behind your center of mass or they're in front of your center of mass and you slip and you fall back and you hit your butt or your hand. That's probably the most common way that people fall. And you might think, what, they don't fall like forwards or backwards? Like, I feel like I would do that. But no, because you're moving sideways on free skates, if you're falling forwards, it's almost instinct, like stepping onto the ground and catching yourself. Tip number 2 is when you're learning to free skate, don't try and hold on too long when your legs are in crazy positions. Like a lot of times your legs can start doing the splits and then that will result in your legs coming together like this, and then you'll just slip out, just like I said before about letting your legs come together. So don't hesitate to hop off, reset, start again. It's very unlikely that once your legs are like in a big split position, you're gonna make miracles happen. Tip number 3 is sometimes in like a panicky situation when you're starting out, you might feel like you can't step off the skates because you already have like all the weight down on your skates, but you're like, uh-oh, I'm going down kind of thing. What you wanna try and remember to do is just push your toe down. Just slam your toe down, that'll get you traction on the ground and it'll help you step off the skate. And sometimes you can even pivot off the skate or something like that. Keep your legs apart, don't hesitate to hop off when your legs are getting all messed up, and slam your toe down in the last worst case scenario. It's also important to protect yourself in case you do fall. So that's why pads exist. If you have helmet and wrist pads, that's most of the issues because typically people go down and they slam their arms down and you can really damage the small bones in your hand. So yeah, wear pads. So I've talked about how to minimize risk as a beginner. Now let's talk about intermediate and advanced riding. If you already know how to ride, you know how to like go to the store or something like that, what are some tips to help minimize risk and prevent falls from happening? Okay, so the number one rule when you're a free skater is avoid water and wetness. If it's raining, you gotta walk, unfortunately, because free skates rely a lot on the friction of the wheels against the ground in a side-to-side motion, and the soft, flat surface of a wheel is not good at pushing water out from underneath it. So you can just slip right out and fall right on your hands, right on your butt. Your booty. If you ride through a puddle, go a couple pumps where you're careful, tilt the skate back and forth to get all the water dried out. Let's talk about rough pavement. A lot of times people assume that like rocky terrain and gravel is like totally a free skate killer, when actually it's not that bad. Free skates have big like longboard-like wheels and they can ride over those kind of things pretty well, as long as you have your weight distribution set correctly. So that is leaning back. When you're going over obstacles that you're concerned about and things like that, you want to lean back. So leaning back will put more of the weight on the back wheel of the skate as you're riding over things. And that helps the front wheel get lifted up, and then once it hits the back wheel, it's like over the center of mass already. It helps you just ride over rocks. Secondly, one of the coolest things about free skates is that if you do hit a rock or something like that, unlike on a longboard, it doesn't destroy every single thing because you're not connected. You can lose one skate and then still have the other that you're riding on. So another cool thing that comes from the fact that free skates are separated is you can use the fact that they're separated to avoid obstacles better. So let's say you see an obstacle coming up in your path, which you should always be planning your path of where you're going. You have a whole range of responses to that obstacle that you can go by. The lowest end of the range, which is, I say, the most ideal, is you split the obstacle by putting one skate in front of the obstacle and one skate back. So if it's like a rock or like a pothole or something like that, and you want to be going right where that pothole is, then yeah, you can just split that evenly on both sides. Another way you can do it is if maybe you saw a little bit later and you didn't have time to plan, you can put one foot farther out and the other one stays kind of more under your center of mass. And then the last way would be to do like a temporary swerving motion, because free skates are really nimble, you know? If you see like a pothole at the very last second, you can really quickly get around that, but all of a sudden your feet are here and your body is here, so then you need to really quickly swerve back and catch yourself. So those are the ways you can kind of avoid obstacles while you're going at speed. I want to give a shout out to our Discord, because they recently were talking about how to safely go over rough ground and other things on free skates, and it really helped think of some tips for this video. So shouts out. Our link to the Discord will be in the description. So if you have anything else to add to this conversation or any other tips, leave them in the comments below. And if you want to see some other tutorials, we have a bunch of other tutorials on our channel. Just click some of these suggested videos here and there. Make sure you subscribe for more videos in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and roll with us.